Hello and good morning. Now I'm on my way to Phillips, the auction house in central London near Berkeley Square, and there is a presentation by some independent brands. It is raining and I was going to be late, but thanks to Santander Cycles I'm on time. The Connaught Hotel is here, and around this corner we have Phillips, and I shall be there in a moment. Okay, so I'm approaching Phillips here. Now this is a main entrance. I think I've got to go round to the side, round there, so I shall do that now. Okay, so here we go, Phillips. So I've arrived at Phillips, and what a delightful space, and I thought, why don't I just turn the camera around and take you for a quick walk around. So as I walked into the Phillips exhibition this morning, you always expect these places to be nice, but how super. And of course we've got the coffee facilities here, and I love the fact that we've got Phillips there. Look at that, how lovely. And hello. And so straight away what I'm going to do is take you for a quick whiz around. If we go over to Patek here, we can see, there's the piece on the wall there. There it is here. Look at that. Doesn't that look delightful? That's very nice. Okay, let me continue. We've got Auffret. Now, this brand name, perhaps I'd heard it once before, but I didn't know much about it. Now, I've just met Auffret and a watchmaker from this brand, and it's so super. And look at these pieces here. Look at that. Hopefully I've focused in there, but how lovely. Anyway, I will come back to those. So we have Auffret. Now, of course, Konstantin Chaykin. And one of the things that I really enjoy about Konstantin Chaykin is from a mile away, you'd recognize his watches. And his watches are something that I love. Konstantin Chaykin watches. I love the creatures that he puts into the dials of his pieces. It's so cool, isn't it? It really is. And there's a couple of his pieces here. Aren't they super? Aren't they lovely? Okay, so Konstantin Chaykin. Now we're over to Charles Frodsham and Co. Now, of course, they've just put an illustration of a movement on the wall here. Now, I'm assuming that this is one of the pieces here. Now, a moment ago there were 3 watches there, so obviously they're being looked at right now. But look at them. They're very nice, aren't they? They really are. Okay, so let me continue to whiz round. And so we have this lovely room that I will go in right now, but I thought I'll just quickly view the wall there, so you've got the information. And okay, so we've got a Moser here. Look at that. This is a streamliner. Every time I see this, I think that is fabulous. Look at that. And now what we've got here, I'm like a child in a sweet shop wanting to know more about everything I look at. Doesn't that look nice? Yeah, that is super. Look at that. That is a mechanical machine piece of artwork on your wrist. It really is. The visual interest makes you, want to, okay, tell me about this. Let me know, how does it work? Isn't that interesting? Look at that. Okay, and of course we have a Rolex, the Daytona model here. I mean, such a classic design. And once again, for me, this is a very recognizable watch. hold on a moment. I saw someone. Hold on. I just saw Emily from Justin Hast, and I wanted to make sure she's not disappearing anywhere. Anyway, I'll finish off the quick whiz around here. So we're going to this fabulous room here, and I'll be quiet because the people are chatting. But okay, look at this. So far, every watch that I've looked at here has been a watch that I would, that I like myself. Every single watch. Now I don't know. Every single piece I've thought, oh, that looks good. That looks really cool. Look at that. It's almost like a private collection that is, oh, the, is that the Chaykin? That is the Constantin Chaykin, the ultra thin. Look at that. Okay, I don't know what window I'm in here, but these are super special watches. Look at that. Look at that Journe. Oh, that is really something. I mean, if you saw that on paper, initially you might think, you know, pink dial on a, I'm assuming it's white gold, it looks white gold. You'd think, ugh. But when it's there like that, you think, oh yeah, that works. And the piece in the middle there, look at that. Okay, so what have we got over here? We have is it the Daytona? I like the size of it. For me, these larger watches, I mean, my own personal preference is slightly larger watches anyway, but I love the size of these pieces. How cool. That is very, very cool. For some reason, I keep thinking of Star Trek, but that's because of the logo, the symbolism, and but it's so cool. See, I really like that, and but it's the size that I like. I like the larger. I like this larger Daytona. I like the fact it's larger than their other pieces. I love it. That is cool. I do like that. Okay, the next window, the next display is AP, of course. Now, look at that sundial there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, I'd say that could be steel, but if it was gold, no, I think it's steel. The luster looks like steel to me. And there's a Patek there. That might be steel as well. Okay, so everything here is super lovely. So please do forgive me if I'm looking at something that's really special. In fact, they're all very special. But there'll be watch fans out there that know how cool these things are. Isn't that lovely? Okay, I'll quickly whiz over here. Let's start here. Okay, Chopard. Isn't that cool? Isn't that lovely? Okay, and then we have AP. Now, you've got to forgive me. I know that these two pieces are exceptional. You'll have to forgive me here. I know that they're more than what I think they are. Look at that. Okay, what is the Mickey Mouse? What's the Mickey Mouse watch there? Gosh. Do correct me, please. Tell me what I'm missing here. How cool. I like the Mickey Mouse watch. Okay. Now this looks like a Journe here. A very special Journe. And once again, it's a little larger and I love it. I like large watches. I don't know why. Perhaps I'm not very fashionable, but I do. A Langer. Oh, look at that. Isn't he delightful? And then we've got a Hublot here. Now, I actually like Hublot, and I don't really know why, but I do. I think they're okay. I do not mind Hublot at all. Okay, so the next piece here is another Lange. Now this looks platinum or white gold. I don't know, but this is yeah, I would say that's a 40mm case. It looks fantastic, and I imagine very desirable. Now we've got a Messina Lab here, and Phillips. Oh, look at that, Messina Lab Phillips. I imagine that's very popular. To the collector, to the watch connoisseur, they're going to like that. Okay, and we have some more APs here.
Well, this is my experience over the last 25 years. You have some who did their own already?
Look at those. Aren't they cool?
We know what...
So obviously this is a moon phase, a very complicated dial here. I know these are very special watches, and some of them, even though I might very gently recognise what they are, I won't know the full history or how cool they really are. Isn't that nice? Okay, and of course a day date Rolex, and that's pink gold. I hope it's coming through. Or do they call it a copper gold? I think it's pink gold. It is nice. Okay, and then we have an Omega Speedmaster. Look at that. Now that looks also a bronzy gold. It might look yellow gold on the camera actually, but that's a bronze gold. And it's very nice, isn't it? The Speedmaster, the Man on the Moon Speedmaster, what a classic design. And you do know what that is, you know, looking at it from way off. Now, Patek. I do forget the reference of these Pateks, but this is one of the complications and models that I really like myself. For some reason, I love the dial. I love the pump pushers and the bracelet. This is a watch that I would wear myself, and I would really want. It's absolutely fabulous. I do apologise for not knowing the reference. And okay, so the next one is another Lange. Oh, that's lovely. And I'm sure that's a power reserve there. Isn't that power reserve on the dial? That's what you always want. That really is. And then we have another. That's Mickey Mouse again, but is it Minnie Mouse? So we've got Minnie Mouse here, and we've got Mickey Mouse. I don't know this watch, I do apologise, but I wanted to show it to you anyway. Isn't that delightful? Okay, so this is the this room, and I'm trying to capture, you know, the look and feeling of the place. And look at that, how delightful, hey? Okay, so let me whiz you back into the main room, and there we go. So that was a very quick, brief walk around Phillips. Isn't it cool? So hello again. Now Eve and Theo very kindly said that they will talk a little about these fabulous watches here. So I'll turn the camera around. Theo, so tell me, first of all, like me, I don't know much about Auffret. Tell me about your brand.
So we are a tiny company that exists for 3 years now, and we are creating handmade watches for the collectors around the world. We're based in Paris.
Yeah.
For the moment, Paris countryside, but we are moving this year in the Paris center, and we are making around 10 watches a year. by hand with my little team. And the two watches displayed in here are the very last Tourbillons of the first series. That is a subscription series. So we made total of 15 Tourbillons in 3 years.
Yeah.
These watches are part of the last 5, and the one that is on the wall in here is actually a prototype of the sport version of this subscription edition. So the same caliber, but with a sporty case, sapphire dial, and an integrated bracelet, but actually the exact same movement inside of the Tourbillon movement. We stopped this edition this year and started to craft a new series of 3-hand chronometers that are inspired by the design of this first series. And total production this year should be around 17 pieces, 12 chronometers, and 5 prototypes of other watches from the collection coming next year.
Right. So I'm so curious, Yves, being a watchmaker, you've been working on this watch.
Yes, I worked on this watch a few years ago, and now I'm working also on the last pieces of the Tourbillon, but more on the coming model, which is the chronometers next year. So we are working on it for the moment.
Okay. I have a question for both of you. Theo, before this was set up, what got you into watches?
So we're a small team of French watchmakers.
Right.
The age average in the workshop is very, very low, probably around 23.
23?
Yeah. Yeah, we even have an intern that is 16, so the age average is, I'm the older and I'm 30. We both made the same school that is in France, in Morteau.
Right.
And
in Morteau?
Yeah, Morteau.
Yeah.
Then I've been working in Switzerland for 1 year as a prototypist, and came back in Paris to set my own workshop around the pandemic moment.
So can I ask, how many people work in your workshop?
So we have a few different companies in the same workshop.
Yeah.
But dedicated to this brand especially, we are 3 watchmakers plus an intern.
Yeah.
2 others are coming in next September.
Wow.
So total of 4 for the moment, plus 1 person who's managing the workshop. It's the amount of power the escapement is receiving, and as you probably know, during an entire day, the mainspring is not giving the same amount of power.
That's correct.
So it's changing the timing during a day.
Right.
And the idea in here for the user is to try to always set the watch by winding, not too much, also not to go in the red area, because winding too much is also bad for the escapement.
Yeah.
You can rebank or different type of bad timing on this. So the idea behind this torque indication was to give the perfect stage of power.
Right. That I find that absolutely fascinating, and if I was winding it, even today when I wind a manual watch, I like to put the minimal amount of turns into the spring at any point in time, especially if it's automatic. I suppose this is This is a detailed part of being a watch enthusiast. This sort of detail is the thing that makes it so interesting, I find. But I love knowing very little about the watch straight away. That aesthetic and design, it looks super. And so this is the. But let's first of all, if I can whiz back to 2 pieces you've got here. Okay. I'll come back to your pieces there, but really what I wanted to say was it's lovely to meet you both, and I, for one, have got an introduction now to this brand, and 2 people behind it is lovely. But what I'm taking away from this is the youthfulness. It's very, very nice. I love meeting you like this.
Thank you.
Theo and Yves, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So very quickly, Theo and Yves have pulled out their watches to show me, and I thought, what a better way to see them than like this. Now that is, they are so delightful. And so this is gold. In fact, Theo, tell me about these 2.
So these are the last units of our first edition. So 2 of the last Tourbillons, and you have here a platinum version and here a rose gold version. So the very first rose gold watch that we cased.
Lovely.
These 2 watches are actually unfinished. It's collector watches that we just cased for the show in here.
Yeah.
And two watches without specific options, because we have many options that the collectors can choose.
Oh,
we have
lovely.
a third piece coming today with many different dial display and finishing and hand color. But here you have the except for the case material, you have the very genuine.
Could I put that just in my hand, just like this, for a moment? Oh, it's the weight. I love the weight of gold. Now I know platinum is even. I'll give you that back. Okay, let's put the platinum. Oh yes. Wow, these really are. I always say this. This is mechanical artwork. It's lovely. That is so great. There you go. So these are the last pieces of this model, and sorry, which model is this again? The model name.
So the model name is Tourbillon à Paris.
Tourbillon à Paris.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually a nice name.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The Paris Tourbillon. Okay. Oh, that is lovely. Let me zoom in once again. Oh yes. Look at that. Oh wow. They really are delightful. That is super. Theo and Yves, once again, so cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I just noticed the MB&F there. Look at that. And I've shown you this window before, but it caught my attention once again. Look at the Journe. Ah, that is so cool. And of course we've got another Journe here. Aren't they so recognisable? I mean, these are iconic. These 3 watches here are so, well, for me, they are very iconic because they're very noticeable. And if you are, I find watch fans, will know these watches. They'll be very familiar with them. The MB&F and Journe there. Aren't they cool? So now, brilliant. I bumped into this lady, and if you've been watching Justin Hast, you'll recognise Emily. And one of the other things that I really like Emily for is Emily likes aircraft and model aircraft. Anyway, that will take us off piste. But Emily, lovely to meet you. And but let me turn the camera around. Hold on. So Emily, hello again.
Hello.
Now, so very quickly, we're here this morning at the Independent Spirit hosted by Philippe.
Yeah.
And so I don't know a lot about you, apart from I've watched you on Justin Hast and your the monthly news roundup.
Yes.
And I find it so interesting. And I'm thinking, gosh, Emily and Justin, they really are knowledgeable.
Thank you.
And because we're in this lovely watch space, I'm always very interested to hear what your opinions are. But I thought to myself, why don't I put the camera on you and ask questions that I'd ask you anyway?
Okay.
So first of all, we're in Phillips.
Yeah, amazing space.
And so what have you, so I suppose, tell me about this morning, Phillips, and what you're doing here.
Yeah, amazing. So first of all, thank you. So I came to Philips this morning for the preview on some of the select items that are going to auction.
Yeah.
It's all independent, as you can see behind, and I am deep in my independent phase. There's a couple of watches I really wanted to see are here. So there's a Simon Brett titanium going for auction. There's a Roger Smith Series 1 in a pink gold, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And there's an incredible upside down piece unique, which I'm a big fan of Ludovic's work. So I wanted to see that in person. So they're the three things that I was thrilled about today.
Okay, and okay, my own point of view, everything I've seen here is lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've liked
Truly.
every single watch.
Agree.
So it's very difficult to be, to think which is your favourite. I do have a favourite now, but I suppose it's not really a favourite because I like them all. But what else has captured you this morning that you really liked, or do you have a favourite?
You know what, I try to come to these things with a really open mind because I'm very much the student here. I'm still in my learning era. I think you should, I very much have an approach to life that I'm always learning. I don't know everything. A world where you could possibly know everything sounds terribly dull. So everything excites me, which is probably my problem.
Yeah.
But what's been really cool actually is just seeing some bits that I haven't seen before. I have fortunately spent some time with Roger and with Simon, so I've seen those pieces. But actually, if you take a quick tour around there, you see some really unique stuff, which maybe you could cut into it. But I think it's all exciting, and I encourage anyone, if you're just remotely interested in the independent world, you see the spectrum of creativity.
Yeah.
That to me is what's exciting. And if I had to pick a favourite, that's quite a cruel question.
Yeah, it is cruel.
It's cruel.
Isn't it?
It's cruel.
Yeah.
Can I stick with my original three? All three of them. Shout out to Roger, Simon, and Ludovic.
Roger, okay, yes, okay. And one of the things, I love coming to events like this because you really feel that they've thought about how they present the watches. Yeah. I've met a couple of people here this morning, and a young lady who's a watchmaker, and it was so lovely to meet her. And I love to see young people in the watch game.
Absolutely.
It's not really a game, in the watch industry.
For sure.
But I think at this level, it really is a mechanical artwork.
Absolutely.
That's how I see it. And
it's pure art.
Yeah, and whenever I see Konstantin Chaykin's Joker over there, I always think, how fabulous.
The whimsy is incredible. For me, look, watches are serious, and it's all very serious. But ultimately, what the beauty of it is, it doesn't have to be that serious. And actually, when you look at that, it's pure art.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel something.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It invokes memories. It invokes a feeling. And if you're a watch enthusiast, it's nice to see something that you recognise.
Absolutely.
And it provokes a very nice feeling. But okay, so Emily, because I literally bumped into you, I grabbed you.
You did.
And, but I've watched you and Justin, and I think I've really enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you.
Your monthly roundups. I thought, this is so cool. I'd love to do that myself. And what other passions do you have now? Maybe aeroplanes and model kits.
You like that? Okay.
I do like that. Yes.
That was a dirty secret that came out in one of the Mez videos. So yes, look. Life is all. I sit behind a laptop all day, every day, and watchmaking is the number one for me. There's nothing that comes even close.
Yeah.
But I do like doing stuff with my hands. I like building. Yeah. So for me, I like to paint model planes or build stuff. Or recently, I bought a drill. So I've been trying to build, actual wood. Just play around with stuff.
Fabulous.
Break it down, build it back up again. Do something with my hands. Turn my phone off. Yeah. Leave it somewhere. That's my passion, really. Side passion.
For me, the link is there. It's brilliant. It's lovely. Emily, look, I've just grabbed you, so thank you so much.
Of course.
It's so lovely.
Oh, it's a pleasure, totally.
To chat. I feel like I don't know enough. You seem so knowledgeable about watches, and I really want to see more videos of you.
Oh, thank you.
And especially, so whatever you do, your knowledge of watches is fabulous. It's brilliant. Emily, lovely to bump into you.
An absolute pleasure to meet you.
And have a lovely day.
You too. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Okay, so let's see how this is how we roll at Philips. It's been a super day.